Let's get him on a video. Look at the size of that spider. I'm scared just standing here. At least he's not on the trail, he's just off to the side. Thank God. Man, here's one right on the trail. Look at that sucker. I'm gonna try to go underneath him. I don't see any web down here. We'll go off to the side. He's got a, oh, right there. There he goes, there he goes, there he goes. All right, hold on. Watching the world burn, watching the world burn. August 28th, 2026. Let's get into it. Man, this is the day of the spider, isn't it? I gotta really keep my eyes out. If one of these gets in my face, maybe we'll get it on the video. You get me to see me scream like a little baby. Ah! Ah! All right. Let's get the unfun part out of the way. Hit that like button and subscribe to avoid or dodge censorship. I am the Burn channel on BitChute and Rumble. And then, of course, I'm the Burn Report on Telegram and YouTube. And then, of course, I'm at that cybersecurity guy. And now I'm on Blue Sky at the Burn Report. And, of course, I'm on X, Real Burn Report. No "the" in front of it. Real Burn Report on X. So, in fact, I could see the cobwebs on my phone right now from where I had to use my camera to knock the damn thing down. All right, so let's get into the news a little bit here. We got Keith Kellogg telling the Ukrainian women to go fight the Russians. Somehow I don't think that's a good idea, but I guess we're going to fight to the last Ukrainian. That seems to be the way it's going to go. I swear, I don't know how they're still in this thing. Scott Ritter keeps saying that they're losing over 1,000 people a day. I don't even see how that's possible, but maybe it is. You know, holy moly. And then, of course, we just had Rat. I call him Ratcliffe. Rat! The Rat! He just went to Russia. Don't know why. They obviously discussed something important. Otherwise, he wouldn't fly there. What a waste of taxpayer money, huh? What was that, like a C-17? Flew his own cars to Russia just so they could have 4 or 5 American cars. Can you imagine just the fuel alone on that thing? That would pay my salary for an entire year. Just that flight alone. Oh my God. Or I could buy a house with probably what they spent getting him over there. And he only stayed 4 hours. Good use of taxpayer money for sure. We got a video coming up. This is George Galloway. Some people don't like him. I like him. Kind of reminds me of my grandpa a little bit. The Russians are being attacked by us, not the other way around. If I give a weapon to someone, knowing that they're going to kill them, got to check for cobwebs, knowing that they're going to kill with it, I am jointly responsible. So Britain, through Prime Minister Bomber Burnham, has admitted to several murders inside Russian territory. So if you didn't know, the Russians are getting upset because the Brits have come out and said they're going to allow Ukraine to manufacture Storm Shadow missiles. I think it's an empty, hollow threat. By the time Ukraine gets around to manufacturing Storm Shadow missiles with British technology, I think the war will be over by then, but who knows? Still, the Russians don't like it. But the other thing that is happening for sure is Britain is giving drones to Ukraine by the thousands. Now, I don't know now that the Odessa, well, Ukraine is landlocked because of the blockade of Odessa. Could be that perhaps some of them drones aren't getting through. But anyway, Russia's threatening. They might take an Oreshnik or two and hit those factories in Great Britain. So we'll see. We'll see. I don't think Article 5 will go, but I wouldn't want to be working in one of those factories, especially at night, because that's when I would expect the Russians to hit it. We got a video from George Galloway. Sorry, right now.
The idea that the Russians are seeking to recreate the Soviet Union, I wish they were. I wish they would, but they aren't and they won't. The Russians are being attacked by us, not the other way around. The Russians have not done anything to us. It's the other way around. And for the first time, our British Prime Minister has admitted that we supplied the drones that killed a significant number of civilians in Russia just last week. These were workers in a warehouse, Russia's equivalent of Amazon, called Wildberries. And now ozone has also been the subject of an attack. Now, if I give a weapon to somebody, knowing that they're going to fire it and kill people with it, I am jointly and severally, as it says in Scottish law, responsible for that murder. And so Britain has now admitted that it is jointly and severally responsible for a significant number of civilian murders inside Russian territory. Now, I pray that Russia will not act as it is now absolutely legally entitled to act and take retaliatory measures against Britain, because I don't want Britain and its citizens to be harmed. But if Russia did, it would be Russia that was behaving legally while the United Kingdom was behaving illegally. So we're actually now counting on the good graces of President Putin in not doing what he is legally entitled to do in punishing Britain for that crime.
Okay, so that was George Galloway. Next we got, I don't even know who this is. Tinfoil Hat Girl 82. The only thing these oligarchs know is violence. Maybe we should give them a taste of their own medicine. And we got a video of Jim Brewer. He was in the last video.
We're the only people in the world that's petrified of our government. It's really funny. We, the people with the most guns and heavily armed defenses in the house, are by far the most easy to push over and keep quiet and docile, probably in the entire world. And they got you sold that, we're the brave. No, because you've already been told you're run by pedophiles. You've already been shown you're run by pedophiles. When you asked your leader, your president, hey man, what's going on Epstein files? He said, and I quote, oh, we're still talking about that? And people blindly are like, oh no, he's doing great in other areas. He basically told you, yeah, no, this is... They watch you and listen to you 24/7. We can do this all day, like, oh God, the flock cameras. Oh God, they didn't do this. Oh God, they're spraying the skies. Oh God, what's going on in Iran? We're doing nothing about it. You're still waiting for the ball game. You're still waiting for the next trade. You're still like, who cares? We're giving our power over to people we don't know and government officials we just don't know.
Sorry, the camera's tilting again. Can't hold it steady. I wish I could get a gimbal. I will tell you this, people, it's not like I don't want to invest the money into this computer and camera equipment. It's just that none of the gimbals will fit the Samsung Galaxy S26 Ultra phone with a protector on it. You can see today, it was pouring down rain before I came out, and it may pour down while I'm hiking. And plus, my hands don't work since I broke my neck, so I'm always dropping the phone. So I have to have a waterproof protective case on these phones, because if I get caught in a storm, I don't want it to ruin my phone. Anyway, just crying on your shoulder for 1 second. So sorry we can't get a gimbal. Anyway, so this is, according to reports, the Russian military has launched direct and massive strikes on major Ukrainian, just checking for spider webs. Sorry, every time I do, I lose my place. Has launched direct massive strikes on major Ukrainian command center, targeting and completely destroying key facilities where senior Ukrainian commanders were reportedly present. The main command center is said to be totally obliterated in the attack. Now, this was the only report that I've had of this, but I wanted to include it because it ain't just this one shot. Well, let's get the video out of the way. Let's get some more porn. Okay, so that's just one strike. Russia's hitting everything in Ukraine. I tell you what, I know the CIA, they got a lot of people over there. Imagine quite a few of them are dying at this point. I wouldn't want to be working for the CIA in Ukraine at this point in time. Let's just put it that way. We got Jackson Hinkle coming up. U.S. strikes Iran cause environmental disaster in the Persian Gulf. Repeated U.S. airstrikes against Iranian oil infrastructure have resulted in severe oil pollution of the Gulf Coast. And in that vein, Iran just struck another ship in the Strait of Hormuz. I know that that Emperor Trump, oh, I just want to make sure that it wasn't a spider. Okay. Looked like something hanging down there. I'm spider paranoid at this point. Yeah, they struck another ship. You know, Emperor Trump keeps saying that, oh, the Straits of Hormuz is open. We got everything under control. Well, and they did say what type of vehicle it was, probably an underwater drone that hit it. But let's get the video, because these are the things you don't really hear about in the news. And I just thought that I was glad that, because I'm an environmentalist. If you didn't know, I mean, if I see a piece of trash laying on the ground, a lot of times I'll pick it up and, you know, if it's not disgusting, put it in my car and throw it away when I get home. You know, stuff like that. I've actually gone out on my own and picked up trash bags and filled them up and then set them on the side of the road for the guys to pick up. You know, so I try to do my share. I was going to bring my weed eater today to work on the trail, but I didn't think with the rain that I was going to get out for a hike. All right, so we got yeah, let's see, yeah. So let's get that video of the ecological damage out of the way, because this is a result of your tax dollars. Imagine all the marine life that we killed blowing up the Nord Stream pipeline. Now, by blowing up the Iranian oil facilities, we're killing even more. I tell you what, the human race, if we survive the next 100 years, I'm going to be shocked, because we are just a locust, a spread on this planet. Let's watch that environmental damage right now. It's kind of a long video. It's over a minute long. All right, so that was his video. Next, we've got Simon Atiba in Canada. And I wanted to play this Canada because if you didn't know, in a childish act, in my mind it's a childish act, Trump has renamed on Lake Ontario, Lake America. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of in my life. But this is the reason why. We're going to get this out of the way, and then I'm going to cut it off because I'm coming up on the road and I don't want to get the car noise in the video. Let's hold up 1 second. So you got, so this is Ontario Premier Doug Ford. Trump is the type of person that would steal your lunch money the first day and would steal the tongue off your head the second day, and the third day he'd steal your running shoes. He's not to be trusted whatsoever. Let's watch that video and we'll continue on the other side of this road.
President Trump, he can't be trusted. Simple as that. He changes the deal. He keeps moving the goalpost. You know, let me tell you about President Trump. President Trump is the type of person that would steal your lunch money the first day. He'd steal the toque off your head the second day, and the third day he'd steal your running shoes. He is not to be trusted whatsoever. We need to stay united. But folks, I have to run to the meeting.
Have you heard from any of the governors? Premier, have you heard from any of the governors that you've been working with over the last year and a half? How are they reacting?
And you know, that's what I feel bad, because there's a lot of governors, a lot of American people that are going to get hurt that actually support Canada, and they don't support attacking their closest ally and friends. But if you look at the numbers, folks, President Trump numbers are down. He ran on creating jobs. We created more jobs than all 350 million people in the U.S. combined last month, just Ontario alone. Inflation's going up. Cost of goods are going up. And I'll tell you the reason they're going up. Because he's attacking his closest ally, his number one customer. You notice cost of housing is going up because 1/3 of the lumber they use to build homes comes from Canada.
All right, we're back. I forgot when I talked about Keith Kellogg to give my opinion of women in the military. And here I have to disagree with Scott Ritter. Because I think he said, and I'm not putting words in his mouth. He might not have said it exactly this way, but something about he didn't think women should be in the military. I have no problem with women in the military. I do not think they should be certainly on the front lines in a combat role. There's nothing wrong with a woman flying a plane or a helicopter or, because that is a combat role. I mean, I'll never forget that female pilot in 2003 that they told her to bail out of her A-10 Warthog after it had gotten blown up by the Iraqis. And she said no. She flew that thing back and landed it unbelievably. You wouldn't believe we had all the gear out because we figured as soon as she hit the deck, it was going to explode. I don't know if she dropped all her bombs or not. I didn't get to see the plane land. I only saw the aftermath, and man, that plane was shot up beyond belief. So don't tell me women don't have a role in the military. I just don't think, special forces or on the front lines, infantry, those are roles I think that for men, and it's not a knock against women. It's because our body structures are different. When you're infantry, you got to carry 150 pounds. Yeah, there are women that can do it. I mean, don't get me wrong. Hell, I got beat up. Well, I should say beat up, but I gave as much as I gave. Because I got in a fight with a woman Marine in the enlisted club when I was at Courthouse Bay. And she gave me a good licking, man. Of course, I gave her one back. But, people finally pulled us apart. But I'm going to tell you what, I don't know who would have won that fight. So don't tell me women, they can give as good as they get. So anyway, I just wanted to get that. I also wanted to talk about gardens for 1 second. So I went to Home Depot. I think I talked about this in previous video. They wanted $10. $10 for a flipping tomato plant. I'm the worst, man. Most of my plants die. So I'm not going to pay $10 for a plant I'm likely going to kill and not get any fruit off of. I'm better off just buying the tomatoes at the local farmer's market. But anyway, so we do have another nursery. Maybe you can find one nearby, but it's for charity. And they had the same, a different type of tomato plant, but it was only $4. I'll pay $4, for a plant that I'm probably going to kill. And I picked up some really hot peppers. They're not jalapenos. And I got some jalapenos too. So we'll see how they do in my garden. Yes, I'm finally getting to plant in the garden. Unbelievable. I've been doing what I call, I label things in military terms around my house. I've been doing Operation Weed Pull because I got weeds everywhere. So I've been out pulling up weeds for the last week. And believe me, when it's 110 degrees outside with high humidity, I can only pull weeds for a half hour to an hour before I got to go in, drink some water, and get in the air conditioning. Thank God I got a new air conditioner. That's another story in and of itself. I've been working on a home equity loan or a home equity line of credit. Man, I tell you, you might as well just draw blood. So yeah, that's it. So let's see. That's page 1. Where was I? Did I drop my notes? No, there's page 2. Okay. All right, sorry. Let me figure out where I'm at. All right, I figured out where I was. So this is Ryan Rosbiniani, B-I-A-N-I. Not sure how you pronounce that. He says, and this is an interesting story. I like to get the stuff that you don't hear about. You know, and I don't hear about these anywhere. Bulgaria kicks out U.S. refueling tankers. 2 U.S. KC-135 tankers deployed to support American military operations in the Middle East have left Bulgaria's Bizmir air base early, despite authorization to remain until October 1st. And I got a picture of course, of a fighter being refueled to just show you what it looks like. And then it says on July 30th, Bulgaria told, I got a log I got to get over. Hold on. Make sure there's no spiders. Bulgaria told Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi it had no intention of joining the war and supported diplomacy, and de-escalation. Bulgaria does not want to be involved. So on that vein, I don't know if you knew, but the globalists were able to get rid of not only Thomas Massey, but they got rid of Viktor Orban. Only the good die young. Oh yeah, only the good die young. So the new leader of Hungary. By the way, you know, Hungary gets all their fuel from Russia, just like Germany used to get their fuel from Russia also until we blew up the Nord Stream pipeline and killed a bunch of fish. But, you know, the lefties don't think about that. Yeah, he's come out and said that Hungary is Russia's enemy. And I don't know if he's going to cut off the fuel into Hungary, you know, to bite the nose off or bite the hand that feeds you. We'll see. But he's definitely anti-Russian in his government. He's putting in all people that hate Russia, just like the Brits. Boy, I tell you, the British really hate the Russians, don't they? I got nothing against the Russians. I don't even understand it. All the Russians I've ever met when I was at the NSA and other places, they were nice people. You know, they're good Christians. They're Orthodox Christians. There goes a cobweb. Damn it, I didn't see that, but it wasn't a spider. Thank God. I have run into a couple of cobwebs, but no spiders as of yet. This is Ashley the Great. I guess Ashley the Great is doing real good on X. And he's been posting a lot of good stuff. It says, in Kursk, a mobile fire team shot down a Flamingo cruise missile with a machine gun. The Ukrainian missile was flying at an altitude of less than 50 meters and traveling at approximately 500 kilometers per hour. Another cobweb. Man. The mobile fire team's crew managed to engage the target with the machine gun and shot down the Flamingo. Alexander Kishkin, I'm just going to spell it for you, K-H-I-N-S-H-T-E-I-N, announced that the fighters will be nominated for awards. Tula Region Governor Dmitry Milyaev's, M-I-L-Y-A-E-V, also thanked the bars on behalf of the region's residents, and we got a video of them shooting down. I said, this is a cool video. Check it out, man. Wasn't that awesome? Man, oh man. All right, so we move on. We'll just keep working our way through. Got my notes mixed up. This is Mario Nafal. Putin drew a line under the table. He says Ukraine opened Pandora's box. Now, if you haven't seen this has been all over. Kind of old news. But yeah, that's why I told you. That's why I don't see Ukraine lasting through the end of the year. Because they opened Pandora's box, all right. If you didn't know, they were hitting those the Amazon-style warehouses in Russia, and they've been killing a lot of civilians in Russia. So they've taken the gloves off now. So expect Russia to hit where Ukraine is most vulnerable. That means agriculture, ports, and the export flows, keeping money flowing into Kiev. It's basically a quiet threat. You hit our warehouses and refineries, we go after the fields and ports that feed your budget. A blunt warning that the economic war it got much more personal. Let's watch that video by Putin.
Своей цели нанести ущерб нашей экономике. Что он сделал? Он сам открыл этот ящик Пандоры. Ну, что же, получите ответ по вашим наиболее чувствительным отраслям экономики, которые, честно говоря, и так дышат на ладан. Это, кстати, касается и сельхозпроизводства, от экспорта продуктов которого киевский режим получает основные доходы. Далее.
Okay. Ooh, am I sweating? All right. Russian airstrikes wipe out. This is Sputnik, by the way, if you want to follow them. Sputnik INT. Russian airstrikes wipe out Ukrainian brigade bases with FAB bombs. Russian aerospace forces struck temporary deployment points of 2 Ukrainian brigades using FAB 500 and FAB 1500 bombs with universal planning and correction modules in the Donetsk People's Republic and the Kharkov region. And we got some good war porn for you. These are some buildings blowing up. Let's watch that now. Woo! No spider webs. I'm sorry. Makes it tough making the video when you got to really look out for what's ahead. All right, we're on the last page of notes. I'm sure we'll get some other news. I'm going to be checking. I put a bunch of bookmarks in before I came out for today's hike. So the artist known as Jess, ELOFSONJESS, Israel plays Trump like a fiddle, and it's been going on since the first term. Lots of cussing. Well, this video has a lot of cussing, so if you don't like to hear cuss words, you can cut off right now. Or if you have children nearby, you might not want them to watch this segment of the video. But he does express things very well. It's about a 4-minute video. Let's watch that now.
Israel is so far up Donald Trump's ass, he must shit yarmulkes. And if you've been paying attention to the Iran war shit show for the last 6 months, then you probably understand that the only place this is going is to the escalation of Donald Trump dropping nukes, because that's what Israel wants, and what Israel wants, Israel gets. Because they've been dog walking him since fucking the first term. Hindsight is 2020. The best example of this is Israel getting Donald Trump to hide in the food cart and transfer planes in Turkey. That was Israeli intelligence came to Donald Trump and they told him, oh, Iran's going to try to shoot down your plane with a fucking surface-to-air missile. Marco Rubio was there. Our intelligence agencies briefed Marco Rubio on this as well. Marco Rubio was like, that's bullshit, got on the plane, didn't give a fuck. Donald Trump crawled his ass into a fucking food cart and got smuggled. But the same thing, here's where they worked. That was July 7th. Later that day, after they put Donald Trump in the food cart, that is when he tears up the MOU. This is how Israel manipulates him. They have him terrified for his life. And you saw this after Butler, right? When they were out there and they were like, yeah, Iran tried to kill him. And they kept saying that, and you're like, that's fucking retarded. Because me and you we have brains, but evidently Donald Trump is easily swayed by these people because he believed that. And they've been repeating that shit over and over. Even back to the fucking drones when Donald Trump was first fucking elected. Do you remember the drones over New Jersey? And they were like, yeah, there's an Iranian mothership. But the Turkish thing, there's 2 folds to that. That's fucking Israel trying to make Donald Trump think that fucking Turkey's not his friend because they can't protect him. But two, after Donald Trump stopped striking Iran, that's when Israel then leaked the story out of him being in the food truck, embarrassing him, trying to get him mad at Iran and go back at them again. Israel has been dog walking Donald Trump into this shit since his first term with the Soleimani strike. And everybody was like, dude, what in the fuck are you doing? And that's where he started. That's where they started it, right? They got him to kill that dude. And then ever since then, they were like, oh yeah, they're trying to kill you because you killed Soleimani. And then they got Trump, all in the first term, in Trump's first term, to tear up the JCPOA. Why? Like, it was working. That actually was a functioning document, because the tearing up of the JCPOA made the Iran war inevitable through the neocons' eyes. So the only place this thing is going to go is they're pushing Donald Trump to fucking drop a tactical nuke on Pickaxe, and they're just going to escalate it from there, because then once you drop one on Pickaxe and that doesn't fucking do anything, they'll be like, oh, you need to drop another one, and they'll just keep fucking escalating this shit to a fucking horrible place, and they do not give a fuck about the fuel prices here. That's just like 1973, like when OPEC fucking did that rationing. What did the United States do? Did the United States go, oh, you know, our citizens are going to run out of gas, so we better fucking do what OPEC wants? No, that is not what the United States government did. The United States government then, well, again, sided with Israel, put the United States under gas rations, and caused the destruction of our entire fucking automotive industry. That's where miles per the gallon comes in, and fucking regulations from the government on your vehicles. That's why the last great car was built in 1979. And they haven't built anything worth buying since. And that's fucking Israel's fault for getting us fucking oil embargoed. Even back then, they will punish us again. We will be the ones to pay for all of this shit. And they are going to force Trump to do this before the fucking midterms. That's why they're embarrassing him with this food cart story now, even though that happened back in July 7th, because Israel knows after fucking Trump gets slaughtered in the midterms, he is not going to have this fucking power. The Democrats will be able to stop him. They'll tie him up. He'll be distracted with other shit. So they are going to step on fucking Donald Trump's nuts right now, whatever the fuck they have to do, and get that fucking coward to dance like they have so many times before. So understand your fucking past, and you can understand where we are all going. Understand your past, and you will know your future. I think that's how it goes. Close enough. Anyway, good luck to us all, because we are on the fucking train off the fucking cliff. Like, this is just, yeah, fucking worst case scenario. Great times. Oh, $40 trillion in debt now, too. There's another record for you, Trump. Good job, dude. It was only $20 trillion during your first term. Now you managed to double it. It's fucking great. It's great. Welcome to the golden shower. Good luck to you all. Long live the Republic.
Okay. So that's it for the video. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. We've got, if you didn't know, Melania, evidently, I don't know where they were. Was it the Daytona 500 or whatever? But she evidently walked out on Trump. Like I told you in the last video, everybody thinks that Trump's having an affair with that young woman. I think she's like 36 years old. Can't remember her name. Daggone it, I didn't write it down. Anyway, so the Lego guys are at it again. And they put together another Lego video. So that's coming up. And then we're going to finish with one of my songs. So, by the way, that Lego video is 10 minutes long. I think they've made it a little bit too long, but still, it's a fun watch. And then, of course, you can watch my video. By the way, I've got a new song up. It says, hey, DC, leave the world alone. And then, of course, it's patterned after the, Pink Floyd a little bit, but not really, But it's just, hey, DC, leave the world alone. You can check it out on the Burn Report. So let's get the final words here. We are watching the world burn together at the Burn channel on Rumble and BitChute, the Burn Report channel on YouTube and Telegram. Got a mosquito biting me. And then, of course, the Burn Report, or Real Burn Report on X. And then, of course, the Burn Report on Blue Sky. Peace out. Stay free. Stay frosty. And we'll get some more news here. And when I check my phone, see what's going on in the world. All right, we're coming up on the road. Finishing up the hike just about another mile to go. Anyway, let's, I got a video here of a dam in India. Let's take a look at that real quick. Okay, so that's in India. So evidently the dam there is holding up on the floodwaters. So that's good for India. Shows the quality of the construction. But speaking of India, there was a report out that Turkey was supplying Pakistan with drones. And I don't know how valid that is or not. But that would mean that Turkey's kind of supporting Pakistan. Because if you didn't know, Pakistan and India don't like each other too much. So that's an interesting development. And then one thing that we haven't talked about was finances. Silver's back above $70. I checked it on in the spider webs back there. And of course, gold is just staying about 4,600 or so, somewhere around in there. I don't know the price of platinum right now. But anyway, speaking of finances, there was one other thing. Oh yeah, the BRICS. BRICS is going to be meeting here, I want to say 2 weeks, but I can't remember. But soon, they're going to be meeting soon. So more and more people are getting away from the dollar. I tell you what, I don't know when this whole thing's going to come crashing down, but it's got to come crashing down at some point. Alrighty, since I'm getting on the road, that'll be it for the video. Peace out, stay free.
Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. That's the headline, that's the story, that's the whisper in the halls. Let me take you back a little further before the cameras start to roll. It's the summer 2026. The White House lights are low. The First Lady disappearing. Where she went, nobody knows. 40 days is all they counted. 40 days out of the year. While the cameras kept on catching, someone else was always near. Natalie was in the background. Natalie was by his side. 18 days that month together. Some folks couldn't help but cry. Michael Wolff was writing chapters, whispers turning into ink. Every headline had a question mark. Every headline made you think. So when Melania came walking back out on that rosy garden lawn, hand in hand there with her husband, like the distance had never gone. And she looked into the cameras, gave the room a knowing grin. I heard you miss me, here I am, and the story starts again. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. That's the story that they're telling. That's the version, that's the verse. But the tape don't show an argument. The tape just shows a walk. Sometimes the space between two people says more than any talk. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. Every headline needs a heartbreak. Every headline needs a curse. Sunday came, the engines roaring, Freedom 250 on the track. Melania in the motorcade, sitting right there at his back, posing for the pictures, smiling for the crowd. Natalie was talking with his son, laughing kinda loud. Then the moment that got circled, then the moment that got shared, Trump reached over, touched her leg, and Melania wasn't there. She was up and she was walking, no one heard a single word, but the internet decided that a fight was what occurred. Now I'm not the one to swear on what I didn't see with my own eyes. I just know a camera's honest, but a caption tells you lies. 40 public days a year for a woman married 30. Maybe that's a marriage story. Maybe that's just being busy. Maybe it's a power struggle. Maybe it's an A too close. Maybe every first lady it's a headline she never chose. Yeah. Back in 2024, the book had already told Natalie's devotion to the president. The story getting old, compared him once to George Bailey. A wonderful life she'd say, been rising up since 2020, never far away. So when the questions started swirling, when the camera zoomed on in, it wasn't the first suspicion, it was a story that's always been. And Melania, she's not silent, she's not someone lost her voice. Here I am, she told the reporters, standing firm by her own choice. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. That's the story that they're telling, that's the version, that's the verse. But the tape don't show an argument, the tape just shows a walk. Sometimes the space between two people says more than any talk. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. Every headline needs a heartbreak, every headline needs a curse. Go back further, way before the racetrack and the noise. A model in the builder back in 1998. Nobody thought that story would become affairs of state. Married in 2005, a son not long behind. Then a campaign trail arrived, and everything got loud. And a private kind of woman got swallowed by the crowd. So when they say she's distant, so when they say she's gone, maybe it's the life she signed for, maybe it's just moving on. A first lady's not required to smile in every frame, but the cameras need a story and the story needs a name. And Natalie Hart got given one, whether right or whether blame. And assistant with the fast rise, cable news the right-hand aid. It's not a crime to work for someone, not a debt that has to be paid. But when the marriage looks uncertain, every closeness makes a sound. So is it love? Is it distance? Is it 30 years grown cold? Is it just an aide who's loyal, or a story getting old? We don't know the truth behind it, we just know what got recorded. A hand, a leg, a walk away, a marriage that got sold in. Into headlines, into rumors, into whispers down the hall. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix. Let's talk about the timeline. Let's lay it out in full. July 19th was the last time, then a month of radio silence. FIFA event, a handshake, cameras flashing for a minute. And she vanished from the schedule, and the guessing games began it. Reporters started counting days like keeping score. 38, then 39, 40 knocking at the door. Meanwhile, Hart was in the Oval, Hart was on the South Lawn floor, carrying a red bag with her, closer than she'd been before. Security clearance still pending, more than a year on the job. Someone stepped in for approval, quietly, not a mob. That's a fact and not a rumor, that's a record, that's a file. While the marriage speculation kept the internet in denial. Some folks said it's just a jive, some folks said it's something more. Every side had their opinion, every side picked up a score. But nobody in that building ever spoke it on the record. So the public built the story from a distance, unprotected. Then came Thursday afternoon, the rose garden bathed in light. Melania stepped back to cameras, dressed in confidence, not spite. Fostering the future, growing children's programs on her mind. She wasn't there to answer questions, she was there to leave it behind. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. That's the story that they're telling, that's the version, that's the verse. But the the tape don't show an argument. The tape just shows a walk. Sometimes the space between two people says more than any talk. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. Every headline needs a heartbreak. Every headline needs a curse. Sunday morning and just waving flags out on the White House lawn. A race car painted red, white, and blue before the crowd was drawn. Look at this incredible race car, gorgeous and powerful, she said. Then the motorcade was moving, and the questions filled her head. She sat there for the pictures, she sat there for the ride. Whatever's really happening, she still showed up by his side. That's the part that gets forgotten when a headline wants a fight. She was there, she chose to go there. That's a fact, that's black and white. So before you write the caption, before you make the claim, remember every marriage carries weight you cannot name. 30 years of cameras watching, 30 years of being seen. Nobody knows a household story from a 30-second scene. We just get the moments, we just get the frame that's shown. The rest of it belongs to them, the rest of it's unknown. Years before the day before the whispers turned to noise, there was campaign trail devotion, there were rallies, there was poise. A woman built her own foundation, business long before the ring. Model turned to businesswoman, turned to something bigger thing. So don't reduce her to a headline, don't reduce her to a walk. She's been building things in silence while the internet just talks. So maybe it's a headline, maybe it's a marriage warrant. Maybe it's just cameras catching moments getting torn out of context, out of order, turned to something they weren't born. We just watch it from the outside, we just watch the story form. Melania Trump storms off at Grand Prix as Natalie Harp's scandal grows worse. That's the title, that's the headline, that's the version, not the verse.
Trump's gone back crazy, crown tilted on his head. World's on fire while the cameras stay fed. Endless wars he wants to wage, no exit in the plan. People keep walking out the door of the emperor's land. Soft times make soft people, now the hard times roll in. Moral compass spinning wild from Europe to the Holy Land, to the States again. Elites feel privileged, floating high above the fray, while the ground shakes under ordinary feet every single day. burning in the Gulf. Missiles and drones lighting up the night. No more soft bluff. Driving the Americans out of the Middle East sands, while the Strait stays locked and the oil slips through their hands. Hormuz choked, tankers stalled, fuel lines running dry, dollar bleeding out while the debt hits 40 trillion high. They strike the bases, they hit the ships, they bleed the whale. Emperor's wars keep spinning, but the costs are climbing still. No plan to get out, just more fire in the sky. People walking out the door while the body count climbs high. How long can this go on? Dollar dying, slow debt climbing to 40 trillion strong. Russia's crushing Ukraine, 1,000 dead each day. Iran's destroying the US, driving the empire away. Gas and diesel running thin, the rude awakening's here. Inflation's coming for the American dream, crystal clear. Hard times make hard people, or they break us all. Emperor of the soft times, watching the empire fall. Soft times made soft people. Hard times make hard people. Iran striking back harder. The elite still feel privileged, but the bill is coming due. How long can this go on? How long can this go on? Dollar dying, wars expanding, values long since gone. 1,000 dead each day, the Middle East striking away. Emperor Trump's endless wars, no blood, no light of day. Iran's destroying what's left, the empire starts to fray. Hard times make hard people, if any of us remain. How long can this go on? How long? How long? How long can this go on?